morning, college football fans. Here we go, y'all. Today is September 23rd, 2023. And my goodness, there are so many great games among us. But what happened last week and all this crazy madness in college football, all kinds of stuff, including some high school football games that were just way too awesome. This past week, can't believe it. Mater Dei would have handled Kahuku High School out of Hawaii pretty easy. Well, let's just say they were a little irritated and took it out on the number 3 team in the country as they will upset number 3 St. John Bosco. Talk about a huge upset there. This past week, Mater Dei had a little trouble with a team who fell out of the top 10 early on this season. St. Francis would battle. However, the Monarchs come out on top. Of course, plenty of D1 to get into today. My goodness, Texas and Baylor. That should be a lot of fun today. Also, lots of great ranked on ranked coming your way. This is your only stop, your only need for all that is college football. You are now tuned in live to Bringing Out College Edition. Right here on iSports Radio, your direction for all guys sports. Welcome, college football fans. And of course, all you diehard high school football fans, we appreciate you all for being here this morning. It is a lovely Saturday morning, and well, you only know what that means, y'all. We had lots of high school happening last night, and we have all kinds of great stuff going on today. That's what we do, and that's how we do it, and I'm glad you could be here today. And somebody else who I'm glad's here today, man, he, of course, is IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, the host of the SoCal Spring Sports Show, and the host of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome me, my co-host, man, the one, the only, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
Hey, Larry B. Great to be here to talk some college football with y'all, as well as some high school football. Let's do the dang thing.
Let's do the dang thing we shall, Taryn. Let's get it, brother. So, first of all, as always, all glory to God. Without him, nothing is possible. And, of course, without all of you guys out there, IE Sports Radio is not possible. So, we appreciate you guys so very much. And, well, let's get it. And, of course, got to say, huge shout out to our sponsor at IE Sports Radio. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Jerky. Delicious brisket jerky. Greatest jerky you can get your hands on, y'all, of course. I am such a fan of this. I think all of us have become a huge fan of this, and we love our jerky. So, if you love some delicious jerky, because, I mean, why not grab a bag? It's like it goes hand in hand, guys. Planet Jerky, in IE Sports Radio, or Planet Jerky, and of course, any sport you're watching. Enjoy, trust us, it's what you want, it's what you need, like our boy Marcus Loves Great would say. Delicious jerky. Make sure you head on over to planetjerky.net. Delicious, amazing jerky, y'all. Make sure to head on over there, grab you some jerky, and of course, enjoy some IE Sports Radio. So, with that said, guys, we got to start things off nice and just bitter for one team and nice and sweet for another. Taryn, this past week, brother, a little team, not a little team, but a monster team off of a tiny little island in Hawaii will pull off one of the biggest upsets of the season, as Kahuku will knock off number 3, the defending national champion, St. John Bosco in high school football. Taryn, talk about that one, man. That was crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. As Kahuku got the early jump on Bosco, leading 22-3 at one point. But Bosco did reel off a bunch of points. I think it was 14 in a row. They led 23-22 at one point. But with 23 seconds left, the Red Raiders managed to score off of I think it was like 8-yard touchdown run and eventually win the game 30-23, which was huge for Kahuku. And that was actually St. John Bosco's first non-league regular season loss since 2017 when it lost to St. Thomas Aquinas in overtime when it lost 9-3. And if you want to be even more technical, it was Bosco's first non-league regular season loss in regulation since 2016 when it lost to Bishop Gorman 35-20. So it was a big monumental win, which basically shook up the high school football world.
Darren, that's insane, man. And just to think right now, St. John Bosco, I mean, okay, so we look at the rankings at the moment. Brother, they're number 3. It's safe to say that next week, I mean, I wouldn't say they're falling far, but I don't know, Taryn. I mean, okay, is it safe to say with how weird the high school football rankings are, and nothing against Max Preps or anything, but, it's kind of like the old BCS, except for there's no championship game. This is basically whoever happens to be number 1 in December when all the games are said and done. But, Taryn, is it safe to say that that's it? No repeat for St. John Bosco, unless a whole bunch of teams in that top 5 start losing at least one game. I mean, is it safe or no, Darren?
That's a good question, and yeah, I don't really know. And here's the thing: Bosco is actually projected to be the 4th seed. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be projected to be the 4th seed in the CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs, and if that were to happen, and if they were to get to the semifinals, they would have to play Mater Dei, and that would be a very, very interesting matchup. So, unfortunately for Bosco, that just sadly is the reality of it. And they're going to have to hope that Centennial or Sierra Canyon slips up along the way, but I just don't see it happening. So, Bosco's either going to have to pull an upset against Mater Dei like they did last year, or they're just going to have to hope that other things happen along the way. So for national championship purposes, I maybe don't see a repeat in the works unless everything goes their way.
Exactly. I mean, I think about this too, Darren. I mean, you only got to be fair, of course. We cheer on our SoCal teams here, and we got 2 monsters. But my big deal for this is okay. What happens, Taryn? What happens if Mater Dei, if St. John Bosco does defeat Mater Dei? Well, Bishop Gorman, I believe, would probably become number 1, at least for a little bit. But then Bishop Gorman drops a game. Central High School, let's just say they start rocking everybody, or if they were undefeated, because I know they did lose. Taryn, when is the time that one of these private schools are no longer number 1 and a public school like Central would actually jump in there? Is it really strength of schedule? Would Central High School ever stand a chance? You see what I mean, Darren? Because what if Mater Dei and St. Bosco both lost one? In Central, of course, they're not undefeated, but I'm just using them as like last year they were. Or like Duncanville, or one of these teams that got, let's just say they got up to number 1 or number 2, number 3, and Bishop Gorman fell off too. Everyone gets a loss except for that public school. But because of the strength of the schedule and maybe a state championship, okay, but then Central does it too. Taryn, I mean, do you truly, because I thought about this week too, do you believe that Max Preps would make Central, or one of those schools like Duncanville, the national champion if they did it and at least all these private schools got at least 1 loss? I mean, do you really feel that would ever happen, or do you feel that no, because of all that strength, because of all the teams that they play and all the teams that Central and Duncanville don't play every year? I mean, Central played a couple and they lost, but do you believe they'd ever crown them as national champs?
Yeah, I really want to say it boils down to strength of schedule, and it also boils down to who comes out on top and who wins their games and who doesn't win their games and whatnot. So I really want to say, I really hate for it to basically just have a I don't want it to be like a popularity contest and whatnot, or somewhat of a strength of schedule and say, oh, you played a tougher schedule. Here, you get the national championship because you won your section championship and your state championship. Here you go. Because that'll basically defeat the purpose. Because what if the other team doesn't play a state championship, or the other team doesn't really play a whatchamacallit, a regional or a section championship. So basically, it's an interesting concept for Max Preps to crown people national champions.
Right? I mean, honestly, Saren, it's, once again, I just want to be fair. I really do. Because, I mean, we get it. Mater Dei flies around the country, as does Bishop Gorman, as does, Centennial starting to really branch out. Of course, they're not in the top 10. But what I'm saying, you see St. John Bosco really start to branch out. So it's just a question that just kind of bothers me. Because now, where do we go with high school national championships? The high schools start saying, and whatever, like the national championship doesn't mean anything anymore because Max Prep's always going to name one of these private schools number one no matter what, even if they have one loss. Two, I could see that's not going to happen. But or is it the point where where we start getting a national championship game in high school? I mean, you can't necessarily leave a conference, looking at you, Pac-12, to get noticed by a committee. You know what I mean, Aaron? So, in high school, you can't, that's not a thing. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I would like to see that if and only if, things were to happen like yesterday, like that was crazy this past week. St. John Bosco dropping that game was crazy, and but once again, it's just that's just a crazy conversation to be had only if it really were to happen. But yeah, just interesting to think about high school, and how it all works out. So anyway, it's Aaron, man, that was nuts, and just what a start off, or what a way to end last week. But Taryn, we had some crazy stuff happen this week too, bro. Last night, man, I was, Cecilia and I were here doing our show, and we were enjoying ourselves, doing the Sports Club Perspectives, and Taryn, right? I mean, I don't know how we were, I had to plan out that show and everything, and we were doing it, and out of nowhere, right during that show, you send me the halftime score of Mater Dei, number one Mater Dei. All right, and basically unranked St. Francis Academy. Taryn, what the crap, man? It was 7-0 at the half. I was like, you got to be kidding me. The game ended up Mater Dei winning 20-7. Regardless, dude, what the crap, man? St. Francis Academy had probably one of the hardest starts to, I think, any high school football season in the previous years. And dude, they had the Giants on the ropes. What happened in that game?
So here's my thing. I think it might have been maybe playing out of state and being unfamiliar with the East Coast time, or maybe being unfamiliar with the East Coast area, or maybe being unfamiliar with an East Coast opponent. Or maybe they just, I wouldn't say maybe overlooked them or just looked a little too far ahead to Trinity League play, but I don't know. Maybe St. Francis just had that nothing to lose mentality because, well, for starters, when you're facing the number one team in the nation and you've basically been kicked down after everything you've been through, you don't have much to lose at that point. So the most dangerous team in the world is a team that does not have much to lose, nor a team that has little to lose at that point, or a lot to gain. So for St. Francis, they really held Mater Dei tight. And honestly, I really thought they played up to their ability for the most part, and they played up to Mater Dei's potential. It's just that Mater Dei just had a little bit more in the tank. And honestly, ugly wins are still wins regardless, and it's not going to really hurt them, honestly.
Yeah, Taryn. I mean, ugly wins happen. Like, for instance, Drewski says here in the chat, man, DeSoto. And, of course, DeSoto, man, I think we know a thing or two about those DeSoto Eagles. They produce guys like, I don't know, Von Miller. So, I mean, in Texas, man, it's a hell of a football team over there. And Last night, Drewski says here DeSoto had the same thing happen to them last night against a team they should have beat by 40. And it's true, man. They played last night, and I'm going to butcher the crap out of this, but looks like Wagahashi, I believe. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it was 56-35. I don't even, I'm not, no disrespect to other school, but they're not in the top 25. So DeSoto, number 14 team in the country, they're 4-0 now, but damn, like looking at, if you hang 35 on a top 25 school, one or two things is happening. Either A, that top 25 team is just not looking like themselves for some crazy reason, or that other little team is actually much better than what people are thinking. So, I mean, but it's just, it's crazy to think that, man. I mean, really. So, but we could take a look here at the top 10, Taryn. And it looks like the results are in. They've already done the rankings, which is crazy, apparently. Yeah, from last week, and Kahuku now has moved into the top 10, Taryn. St. John Bosco has now fallen all the way to number 10. It's crazy to see that. But, of course, they will lose to Kahuku 30-23. And, Kahuku will jump up now 5-1 on the season. They are now number 9. And it's like, dude, like, it's crazy to see that, like, wow, like St. John Bosco, man, you did not expect for that to happen. But you look at these other schools, and they're doing what they should, right? Yesterday, we had, today, I don't know when this was, but Beaumont United, look at North Shore out of Houston, Texas. This is the number 9 team in the country, or number 8 team in the country. Just obliterated, man. Beat the crap. Poor guys. Beaumont United, man, sent them home with a huge 49-7 loss. That is what you would expect out of one of these schools. Duncanville, the number 7 team in the country, they gave it to Cedar Hill last night, man. Like, they just ran that thing at 56-0. Just absolutely went off, man. Now 4-0. Duncanville, the defending state champions there, just playing lights out football. Buford, hanging at number 6, they would defeat Marietta 30-3. So, once again, very good. I don't know how they pronounce it, Marietta. I forgot they pronounce it over there in Georgia. But this is another one, too, that we had to talk about today. This is a ranked on ranked, of course. This was number 5 Chaminade, of course, Chaminade Madonna, taking on number 4 Central. Well, Taryn, it happened, man. Chaminade Madonna is still undefeated. They won this very close game on the road, 31-28 over Central. Central is now going to fall, and it's crazy to think, Central and Bishop Gorman, 2 big-time teams last year in the mix, going to fall. The IMG Academy, yesterday, they would defeat Glenville 28-6, or that was last week, actually. They don't got a game until the 6th of October. And then, of course, we talk about Bishop Gorman, number 2. They will defeat Silverado 55-0. And then yesterday, Modern Day talked about possible jet lag. I don't know, but they beat the St. Francis Academy 20-7 when it could have been a lot bigger. So, Taryn, any comments on these games, man? Especially that Chaminade Madonna Central game.
Yeah, that was a great game, and I think it got kind of overlooked because it was a Thursday night game, because most people expect Friday games because obviously Friday night lights. A big game that happened, which was the top 25 game, which I feel maybe got overlooked, was Centennial versus Liberty, and Centennial pulled out the win 42-35. This was number 22, the Centennial of Corona, taking down Liberty 42-35, and that was actually Liberty's first loss. This was Liberty of Peoria, Arizona, not Liberty of Bakersfield or Liberty of Nevada. This is Liberty of Arizona. So this is a huge win for Centennial because they haven't really fared well against the out-of-state teams. They do have a loss to Bishop Gorman. Well, they obviously beat Punahou by 7, but they managed to beat Liberty, which was at home. So honestly, for Corona Centennial, they're proving why they're still top 3, top 2 in California, as they're kicking off league about to kick off league really well, and that league is going to be tough. But Centennial is going to prove that they are a cut above the rest, and I think this win over Liberty was huge, especially when they had a big run early in the first quarter, which eventually wound up proving the difference maker.
Absolutely, Taryn. It's cool to see that, man. And one thing we haven't done this year a lot is talk a lot about these players. We know we talked about a few here and there, Taryn. Really cool, though, to see Corona Centennial, get a nice little victory there, of course, right out of the Inland Empire, where I'm from here. But I love it, man. This little article here by Zach Poff. Once again, Zach Poff. It was written on the 22nd yesterday on MaxPreps.com. But I love it. It says here, MaxPreps top 25 high school football scores. Number 22, Corona Centennial beats number 16, Liberty 42 to 35. And then he just kind of goes on. Number 5, Shaman Amadana improves to 5-0 with 31 to 28 win over number 4, Miami Central. It says number 22, Corona Centennial, out of Corona, California, erased a 35 to 21 fourth quarter deficit. It's insane, man. These fools came back, and scored the final 21 points to pull off a 42 to 35 win over number 16 Liberty, as you mentioned, over Peoria, Arizona. And then it says, trailing 35 to 34, the Huskies defense got a goal line stand and took over at their own 10 with just 2 minutes remaining. Senior running back Cornell Hatcher capped off the 90-yard drive with a go-ahead touchdown run from 13 yards out with 31 seconds left to give the Huskies their first lead of the game. Also, Hatcher finished last night with 300 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. The Inland Empire Power is now 3-2, with both losses coming against top-ranked teams in the Max Preps Top 25. It is their first loss of the season, or the first loss of the season for Liberty, as they fall to 4-1. John Wilson scored 4 total touchdowns for the Lions, so big time name coming out of Liberty right there, John Wilson. This is number 5, Shaman Amadana out of Hollywood, Florida, added another statement win to its resume with a 31 to 28 victory over number 4, Central Miami, on Thursday in the only other Max Preps Top 25 matchup. Senior quarterback Cedric Bailey, be watching for that name, y'all. Cedric Bailey had a huge first half, completing 22 of 32 passes for 266 yards and 4 touchdowns, as the Lions took a 31 to 21 lead in halftime. 5-star wide receiver Jeremiah Smith, another huge name, man. Be looking for this guy somewhere on Saturdays next year. I don't know if he's actually a senior. Is he a senior? We'll see. Hauled in 4 touchdowns, with one being a remarkable one-handed snag. The Rockets shut out the Lions in the second half, but a missed field goal and late interception by Curtis Javanier helped the Lions improve to 5-0. It was Javanier's second interception of the night. All 5 Shaman Amadana wins have come against teams in our expanded top 100. Both the Rockets' losses have come by a combined 7 points. They lost 39 to 5 at number 2 Bishop Gorman, Las Vegas, to open the season. Taryn, that's crazy, man. Those are crazy stats there. So big ups to Zach Poff of Max Preps, and just really cool to, read those names off and see all that. So crazy, right?
Yeah, pretty crazy if you ask me.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's cool to see some of these stats and some of these guys where they are, and it's pretty neat. So we also got to keep an eye on those top recruits coming out, and I mean, we got a lot of them coming into the big territory, man. Pretty cool. I know we got there is the top ESPN 300 player rankings, and right now just keeping an eye, man. Make sure to keep an eye on these guys. Ellis Robinson looks like he is number 1 on the board right now. Corner out of IMG Academy. He is a 5-star, committed to Georgia. Also, there's only 2 more, well, a couple more 5-stars actually. There's actually plenty of these, but Dylan Raiola coming out of Buford. So there you go, Taryn. 6'3", 222-pounder. Cornerback, and I don't know, I guess punter, I don't know, but he is a Georgia commit as well. So the rich get richer, Taryn. The rich get richer. And this is even crazier because I saw these guys on ESPN play a couple weeks ago, and this is Julian Sayin. He's out of Carlsbad High School. Crazy. But dude, 6'2", 190 pounds. The craziest thing about this guy is he's an Alabama commit, but the craziest part about this guy is he's a quarterback on offense. Guess what he plays on defense, Aaron?
Linebacker?
Defensive tackle.
Ooh.
How does that happen, Darren? How do you get a guy that can throw the ball? I mean, it's crazy. He must be one of those crazy dudes. Because in high school, okay, let's be real. In high school, Taryn, you can get off with just being crazy playing defensive line. You know that. You can just be kind of crazy. You know, the size, it can matter, but realistically, it's not the biggest factor in high schools, and you can just get off being crazy. Like, I mean, he must be one of those crazy dudes. He's not very big, but he's just crazy, and he's just in your face, insane, violent dude. But yeah, man, I think that's really cool. So anyway, Darren, so here's some cool names here to take a look at. That are coming out. We'll keep plenty of more tabs on these guys and keep them coming out from this list. There is actually another one that's the national, of course. And hey, you know us, we're kind of homers over here, just a little bit, so it's kind of cool, of course, to see the 24/7 sports as well. Really crazy to take a look at some of these different like players coming out and going here. So we'll keep an eye on those as well from like Southern California. And, it's really cool. Taryn, you were telling me last night that I did not know this. The quarterback from Marietta Valley, which is right down the road from us here, is actually committed to a couple really big schools.
Yeah, he has offers.
That's amazing. Oh, not committed. He's got offers, dude. That's amazing. When you can have offers from like some big time schools, man. I mean, it's just a great feeling, I'm sure, and it makes you up your game. So that's really cool, man. So yeah, I'm sorry, I meant to say offers, but yeah, some of these guys are committed already. Some of them are just trying to figure things out and see where they're at. But yeah, man, really, really cool here. And anything to end off the high school stuff.
Yeah, Marietta Valley's quarterback is Bear Bachmeyer. Remember that name.
That is really cool. Bear Bachmeyer. That's a cool name. So all right, Sarah. Well, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we get back, brother, we are going to jump plenty into college football. You were listening to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back talking plenty more after this.
What up, Boston sports fans? This is Mikey Two Guns here, your host of Our Bleepin' City, airing every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please join me. We'll talk everything Boston sports, all the local teams, college teams. I'm even down to talk MMA, boxing, whatever you guys want. So join me every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Chime in with your questions on the chat, tweet the show. We'll even have call-ins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So once again, it's Our Bleepin' City. I am your host, Mikey Two Guns, every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you soon, people. Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, back on the airwaves here. Get ready to jump on in to the next segment. Oh yeah. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct view for all that is sports. Darren, a couple crazy high school games. All fun, right? And, well, now we jump into the college game. Taryn, the 3C2A has been fun. It has been. It's been real fun this year. And I'm just glad that there's been lots of, there's been some moving around. The season's pretty young. So, once again, talking 3C2A, this is the community colleges of California. Today, Taryn, I mean, of course, we got to take a look back at some of these games from last week. I mean, Fullerton blowing out ELAC last week, East Los Angeles. I was not expecting that, Darren. East Los Angeles actually ranked. It's kind of crazy to think. I mean, I don't, if they're ranked anymore. But, dude, like, that was crazy. Oh, no, they are. They're number 18 now. And they got Golden West this week. But they got freaking beat the crap down last week, which is crazy. My beloved RCC Tigers got that nice little victory to go to 3-0 now, 45-6. Last week at home. Talk about a nice little victory there. Big rivalry up north. San Francisco, of course, City College San Francisco taking out Butte 27-15 last week. I mean, Darren, there were some cool ones last week. There really were. San Mateo and Modesto, another rivalry there where San Mateo will go to 3-0 with a 37-20 victory over Modesto, giving them their first loss of the season. Canyon's actually starting off kind of rough this year, but they got their first victory over Palomar, 17-7. They got that nice little win this past week. Taryn, you and I were talking about Cerritos and Ventura last week. This ended up being a dogfight, man. Cerritos pulled this thing out on the road, but just so slightly. 35-31. Nice game there for them. Golden West, hey, they would stick it to San Diego Mesa last week, 28-7. Just more great football, you guys. Definitely some great football all around the 3C2A, but those were definitely the big notable games. Taryn, how about some of these games from last week, man? What was your focus last week?
Yeah, that Golden West San Diego Mesa one was quite incredible. I thought that was a very big win for Golden West, especially after coming off of a loss to Riverside City. And going on the road, that is a very long trip from Huntington Beach down to San Diego, and getting a win all the way there and pulling off that win is quite amazing. It makes that bus ride all the way back to Huntington Beach a whole lot more easy.
You hit it on the head, Taryn, because trust me, Taryn, I played in this very same sanctioning body. And Taryn, trust me when I say, those bus ride homes after a loss, you could hear a pin drop, man. I feel like the bus ride, even the charter bus motor, you don't even hear that thing, man. I just feel like it is silent. So when you get a nice victory, oh, that ride home is so sweet. It is so nice. So, but yeah, there's some little article here, pretty crazy, talking about San Mateo, and so this is the power rankings. This is courtesy of the 3C2A. It says 2 teams remain the same in football polls. Citrus joins top 10 party. So out of San Mateo, it says defending 3C2A state champion, College of San Mateo, runner-up Riverside Community College or City College, continue to pace both the JC Athletics Bureau's polls of California Community College Football Coaches Association members and the polls from the CC or the 3C2A Information Association heading into the 4th week of play. So San Mateo took 10 of the first 11 place votes in the JCAB poll and 8 among the CCC SIA voters after giving Modesto JC its setback 37-20. So it says here, while all 5 of last week's top teams won over the weekend, there was a slight adjustment with Mount San Antonio College moving up into a spot, or moving up to the 3rd spot with the coaches trading positions with City College San Francisco. American River leaped 2 places, which is crazy, to number 5 prior to this Saturday's showdown at San Mateo. That's going to be pretty cool. Number 6, Fullerton, and number 7, Citrus complete the group of top 7 teams with 3-0 records. Contra Costa is the other remaining 3-0 team and jumped 6 spots to number 13 this week, which is pretty cool. And then this competition gets underway Saturday in the expanded Southern California Football Association National Division, which now has 8 teams in each of the 3 leagues. Riverside opens up Southern League play at Palomar, and then it says the 2 3-0 teams in the Central clash at the outset when Mount Sac visits the National Division member Citrus, which holds a USA leading 17-game win streak. What the hell, Taryn? Seriously? That's crazy. The Northern League has 4 teams at 2-1 and 4 at 1-2, and will have 2 of the pace setters meeting when the 21st ranked Moore Park, or when 21st ranked Moore Park takes on number 15 El Camino this week. So, Darren, we got some pretty cool games coming up this week, man.
Yeah, and the thing about Moore Park is that Moore Park El Camino matchup is going to be interesting. Moore Park barely beat San Jacinto 33-26 last week, while El Camino obviously is coming off of that thumping from your beloved RCC Tigers. Yeah. So for Moore Park and El Camino, I think that's going to be a battle of who is going to get up off the mat versus who is going to prove themselves as the better 3-1 team. So I think that's going to be an underrated matchup right there, one to watch. And El Camino's 2-1, but still, it's the battle of 2 1-loss teams.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do that every time now. When you say RCC, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this play. I don't care, man. I'm excited, man. Gosh damn it, if RCC goes and lays another freaking egg, I'm not gonna watch this no more. I mean, I'm so mad. But no, it's crazy to think, man. There was a lot. This past week was nuts. Looking at some of these, it's crazy. Looking at some of these stats was something else, man. Just huge. Look, like Riverside here, they put up freaking. They threw for 349 yards last week, man, and rushed for 189. And Riverside got 4 turnovers. In the time possession, 39 minutes and 19 seconds, where Elko only had the ball for 20 minutes and 41 seconds. I mean, dude, Riverside just went off, man.
Yeah, and Riverside has been putting up video game-like numbers. I really think that they are looking very solid this year, and I don't want to jinx anything, but this could be the year, and it's looking like they could be on their redemption arc. I don't want to jinx anything, but they look very solid, and it's just so incredible that they're just putting up video game numbers, and they're just looking like just world beaters out there. I'm trying to find here they are. They're in the National Southern Conference, which is home of Fullerton, Palomar, San Diego Mesa, Saddleback, which is having a down year, Grossmont, Mount San Jacinto, and Southwestern. So, yeah, and there are only 2 3-0 teams, Fullerton and Riverside. So once Fullerton and Riverside face one another, get your popcorn ready.
That's going to be a show. That's for sure, man. Riverside is led right now by passing leader Jordan Barton, 334 yards last week, man. Amazing. Bryce Strong, of course, running. He had 62 yards. And Bryce Strong, of course, receptions. This was crazy. 154. So, I mean, I'm just saying, or receiving, I'm sorry. But just amazing. There are some, I mean, Taryn, here it comes, man. I mean, this week we got some good ones, some really good ones. Number 18, ELAC. Of course, East Los Angeles taking on number 8 Golden West. Number 2 Riverside taking on unranked Palomar. Number 11 Modesto taking on number 9 Butte. Number 5 American River taking on number 1 San Mateo. That's a rivalry up north. Definitely going to be probably one of the better games of the day. If not, probably the game of the day. Number 20 Ventura taking on number 24 Allen Hancock. Number 4 City College San Francisco taking on Laney, which they are no longer ranked, but they were champions a couple years ago. These guys have both been champions within the last 5-6 years, so up north. And then, of course, number 3 Mount San Antonio taking on number 7 Citrus, which is a really cool game there. So, Taryn, give me your best game of the day and why.
Probably American River at San Mateo. That's a top 5 matchup, and as you said, that's a rivalry game, and you never know what you can expect with rivalry games. And with a top 5 game like that, you could expect a barn burner with that matchup. Also, don't sleep on Mount Sac and Citrus. I think Mount Sac is definitely proving itself as a top 5, top 3 team, and Citrus, I think they also definitely have a good shot at possibly proving itself as a top 5 team, but they have to win this matchup against Mount Sac. Mount Sac has a lot of studs on both sides of the ball, and Citrus, they're good, but Mount Sac has always been perennially as a very, very good team.
Yeah, Taryn, that's for sure, man. And right now, just looking at San Mateo, that's a hell of a football team, man. We look at these guys, and my gosh, Taryn, they're at 495.7 yards total. Rushing, they're at 125.3, that 370.3 in passing. I mean, dude, they've only allowed 85 points this year. This is a really good football team right now, man. And they're playing lights out. The Bulldogs, they destroyed Riverside last year, and just amazing performance here by these guys. This is a lot. There's a lot here, and it's crazy. I mean, they're led by, they got a few quarterbacks actually, which is really crazy. Anthony Grigsby is a freshman, but it's crazy, Darren. This dude's a freshman. And it looks like he is their dude, though. He's their starter. There's another That's the crazy part. Is community colleges, they can do that. They fluctuate. But this guy Anthony Grigsby, total beast, man. He's started the last 3 games. He has thrown for already 1,055 yards. He's thrown 2 picks, but he's thrown 8 touchdowns. His long is 53. I mean, overall, man, this dude looks really good, and somebody that I think we could watch out for coming up in the future here, for sure somewhere. But I think right now, even though as good as he is, they're really led by this guy, man, sophomore Nate Sanchez. This dude's awesome, man. The running back, he's played all 3 games on 39 carries, Taryn. He has 206 yards. I know that may not be eye-popping because I get it, it's 39 carries. But dude, it just goes to show you he's a grinder, because this other dude, Lolo Matele, I believe, has 29 carries for 117 yards. And there's another dude, man, Julius Tico Suva, I believe. Tico Isuva. He has 57 yards. 17 carries, 57 yards. I mean, dude, they pound the damn ball, man. They even got this other guy, Matthew White, sophomore, and he's only gotten a couple carries this year. But 4 for 11 yards. I mean, so it seems that they got 3 dudes who really run the rock. 2 of them for damn sure. They kind of go back and forth, but that's crazy, man. I mean, San Mateo's got a lot of weapons, man.
Oh yeah, San Mateo is legit. They are the real deal. But I feel American River is going to give them some sort of battle. If San Mateo blows them out, then San Mateo is the undisputed number 1 team, and that's no disrespect to every other team out there. I just think that San Mateo is a cut above the rest.
And it's not wrong to say that, Taryn. I mean, look, they're a great football team, and me being as bitter as a damn, as a unripe grape. I just after last year, but I can't, you can't say anything, man. They're a hell of a football team. This team plays, man. They ball the hell out, and I love it. They really got a strong presence there. Just in so many, and it's crazy because Taryn, you look at American River. Joshua Moore is their guy running the ball, and he's only had 29 carries for 159 yards. But they also, have Avant Jacobs, who has 31 carries for 93 yards. So, are they more rushing? In the end of the day, you look at their receiving, and they give this ball to everybody, man. Everyone's got, it's Oprah in this mother, man. I mean, they got everyone catching the ball. They have, my goodness, there's at least 14 tight ends and running backs and receivers all here. Like, everyone, the ball is very well spread with American River. Robert Freeman right now, it's like he is up there towards the top. 6 receptions for 83 yards. Oh, actually, no, this guy looks like Makia Stevenson. I don't want to butcher his name there, but 6 receptions for 135 yards. In the last couple of games. I mean, dude, they got some stuff here going on. And this dude right here is the one really. He's distributing. Kenneth Luth. He is their starter, I believe. He's at 37 completions for 73 on the year. He's thrown for 511 yards. And when it comes down to it, man, this dude right here, I mean, I think, maybe not eye-popping numbers, but you look at American River, and this team, they don't really have, like, juggernauts. Like, you can tell everybody gets in on these victories.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And honestly, yeah. Well, did you say something?
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it shows that American River is a top 5 team, and I feel that they do have a shot against San Mateo, and I wouldn't be shocked if this was a close matchup. I want to say that American River can pull out the win, but against the reigning champion and against the number 1 team in San Mateo, it's just going to be an uphill climb. I feel we're going to get like a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, then that would be a lot of fun. So we'll keep tight to that one today, guys. That's going to be a lot of fun. When we look at the NJCAA this week, there's really nothing there. There's no ranked on ranked. Last week, there were, a couple good ones here. But really, when it comes down to it, this week, yeah, there's really nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to just keep it pushing. Of course, this past week on Thursday, just really nothing too big. Jones defeating Copialinga 42-32 was a pretty decent little game there. But other than that, last week there wasn't really anything huge, and just kind of a it's a little blah part of the season, I guess, when it comes to this. Nothing huge and nothing that nothing really pops out from this past week. I think maybe Kilgore, which is like the number 3 team in the country, defeating New Mexico Military might have been probably like the game last week. But looking at some of these, this is pretty cool, man. The guy at East Mississippi, Ty Keys. I think this guy we're going to be seeing him soon, man. He's had 166 yards so far passing on the year. Only coming up after him is Kobe Muwasu, 1,041 yards from New Mexico Military. And then Jaden Tyler, we talked about him, 1,002 yards. So in 3 games or 4 games, I believe, those are your leaders right there. Also, touchdown leaders. Kobe Muwasu, he has 15 touchdowns on the season so far, man, out of New Mexico Military. And let's see here. Second place here, we have Ty Keys out of East Mississippi with 12. Jordan P. out of Tyler, a little Texas school there, with 10. Cameron Peters out of Kilgore. Of course, big ups to Drewski in the chat room, says big shout to Kilgore. And then Justin Silverstein out of Iowa Central has 9 touchdowns. So, yeah, Taryn, I mean, once again, we got a lot to look at with a lot of these guys here. I really think it's awesome they post up all these scores and these stats. And really neat to see, all this going down. And these are guys that we're going to be seeing very, very, very soon. Rushing, I'm a big rushing guy here. So far, the rushing title is going to, looks like, cool, out of Garden City. We got Jones here with 384 yards on this very young season on 38 attempts. So, once again, he's looking at some guys that we could possibly see. James Jones out of Garden City right now. He wears number 20, and he's looking pretty good through the first couple of games here So that's, I believe, maybe 3 or 4 games so far in the season. So, yeah, so just a couple of looks there, Taryn, and taking a look at some of these guys. But yeah, Taryn, nothing big to see in the NJCAA. You want to throw anything in for this week?
Well, something I did see in terms of NJCAA news is that the NJCAA will be hosting its 7th annual NJCAA Day on Thursday, October 9th, as the association celebrates opportunity, history, and unity of member colleges, student athletes, administrators, alumni, and fans. And they're and encourage administrators, coaches, and fans and supporters are encouraged to give $1 to the NJCAA Foundation to help meet the goal of raising $1 million to support future opportunities for student athletes. So, and it's a part of their A Million Reasons Why little foundation and theme, which I think it's pretty cool right there. So I think it's a quite fun little thing right there. I don't think it's just focused more on football. I think it's focused on all things NJCAA. Yeah.
That is really cool, Taryn. That is really cool. That's really, thank you for sharing that, man. I like that a lot, and it's really cool when we can do stuff like that, right? Get that kind of stuff out there, get people involved and all that. That's really, really neat, man. So, but yeah, man, this past week, that's pretty much it from there. I think probably the bigger one too. Number 13, East Mississippi defeating number 4. That's actually a huge upset. I don't know how I missed that, but East Mississippi defeating number 4, Jones College, last week, 47-23. So pretty big deal there, if you will. But yeah, man, cool stuff, and we shall continue. Also, I don't know how we forgot this one, Taryn. Last week there was an overtime upset. Actually, not really an upset, but Sierra and the 3C2A would defeat Reedley 26-23 in overtime. So really good game there. But yeah, man, when it comes down to it, it was just it's just a solid season so far. Number 15, Tyler, would actually pull off a huge victory over number 5, Trinity Valley, 20-17 last week. Little Texas matchups there, and of course Kilgore, as we mentioned already, defeating New Mexico Military, number 10, New Mexico Military. Number 3, Kilgore, just holding it down in Texas, man, for Texas junior college football right now. Looking very good out front. So, yeah, man, awesome stuff there. And then, of course, we get into the NAIA. We didn't really have anything last week, and it's kind of funny because we didn't really have anything this week, Darren. According to the website, it says here, Jack Parka, I think, P-R-K-A, of Carroll, Montana, has been named the NAIA Offensive Player of the Week. Sweet! Congratulations to him, man. Damon Burns Mitchell of Cumberland, Kentucky, has been named NAIA Defensive Football Player of the Week. Pretty cool. And then Job Matosian of Cumberland, Kentucky, has been named the NAIA Special Teams Player of the Week. So that's awesome. It says the trio was selected based on their performance of this past week. And let's take a look. So it says here that for Jack Parka, it says he's a junior quarterback. He said he engineered a fourth quarter comeback on Saturday, erasing a 20-point deficit and giving number 10 Carroll a 21-20 win on the road over, says Rocky Mountain, Montana. He was 28 of 45 for 407 yards, a new program record, and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty cool, man. Only Carroll quarterback to eclipse 400-plus passing yards in a single game. That's pretty sweet, dude. Hey, to help erase a deficit like that, that's pretty cool, man. Some nice stuff there. On defense, looks like Damon Barnes Mitchell out of Cumberland's, of course, from Kentucky. He's a junior linebacker. Says he led the team with 10 tackles. The dude was everywhere. Had 2 interceptions. Oh, my goodness. And a forced fumble. Yes, have a game, young man. Have a game. Both interceptions came with 2 minutes remaining in a one-possession game. The final came in the final seconds to seal the win. The forced fumble came on the goal line in the first quarter, stopping the Eagles from scoring and setting up the Patriots' first touchdown of the game. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, Job Matosian, the special teams player out of Cumberland's, it says here, perfect on the year in PAs, went 2 for 3 on field goals, including the game-winning field goal with .207 remaining in the fourth quarter, punted 5 games with an average of just under 30 yards, pinning the Eagles, who ranked first in the NAIA in average punt yards inside their own 20-yard line 3 times. How about those 3 guys right there, Taryn?
Yeah, and well-deserved honor, and the stats pretty much say it for themselves. And that defensive performance right there from the defensive player of the week was so big. 2 interceptions and a forced fumble.
Dude.
That is basically putting in the work and then some.
He's the dude. He's the dude. That's a man. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't care, man. People can say, oh, special team. No, man. No, because you know damn well, those special teams right there, they make all the difference, man. Oh, my gosh. There's been so many times where we've won and lost games on a kicker or on a really good punt. You know what I mean? So, dude,
Special teams players are players too.
Oh, yeah, they sure are, man. So that's pretty much it, though. Nothing really out of the NAIA this week. No ranked-on-ranked battles. And, hey, we're going to get some blowouts, I'm sure, here and there. But we'll definitely keep our eye on these guys and players of the week. So, Division 3, Taryn. We're climbing the ladder. We're trying to get through this as quickly as possible. I know Taryn's got to head out to work in a little bit here. But this past week, man, Division 3 has been a journey for sure. Number 22, Susquehanna will defeat number 10, Cortland, 38-35. We had number 4, Wisconsin Whitewater defeating Mary Hardin Baylor here. Mary Hardin Baylor is kind of falling off now, man. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I know for sure Mary Hardin Baylor is playing, Wisconsin Whitewater, the Warhawks, are playing some great football there. Number 4, Grand Valley defeating number 23, Assumption, 43-7. Yeah, Grand Valley, man. Hats off to those Lakers playing great football there. So Division 3, just, doing what Division 3 does. Taryn, this week we do have a top 25 matchup, only one, as number 19 Bethel will take on number 8 St. John's.
Ooh, just one? Oh, gosh.
I know, right? It's like, there's really nothing there. I mean, it's kind of, Division 3 is kind of just, just posted up here, I guess, this week. Nothing really to say there. I mean, kind of crazy.
I guess it's better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess it was one of those deals here. But definitely.
Maybe teams are on bye this week.
What was that?
Maybe teams are on bye.
Well, there's a few of them that I think are on bye this week. And, once again, we're going to get some of those major top teams. Right now, the current top 25, man, we see undefeated North Central. They're 2-0 on the season, looking good. Mount Union, of course, 2-0. Wartburg, which showed out big in the tournament last year, they're currently 3-0. Wisconsin Whitewater at 3-0, and then Hardin Simmons out of Texas, man. They're I think, wait, I'm not sure. Are they out of Texas? But I do know for sure they're 2-0. They're playing great football. Trinity right behind them. Of course, we talked about Wisconsin River Falls pulling off a huge upset a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, some super, super, super good stuff early on here. But yeah, when it comes down to it, nothing really to see here at the moment with Division 3. But certainly going to keep our eyes on this. And as of right now, we really have let's take a look here. There we go. So yeah, as of right now, man, we can take a look at those games and just say, hey, we can only hope that this is a really good one. Like I said, number 19 Bethel taking on number 8 St. John's coming up today. When you take a look at it, I mean, yeah, it's easy to give St. John's the victory, I guess, if you're just going off of the ranking. But, hey, this Bethel team, not a bad football team. Certainly had their battles so far this year, and well, hey, they're ranked for a reason. Looking forward to a pretty good football game here. At least we can only hope. They are going head to head today, and just a little bit actually. But once again, it should be a fun game. So let's see here. I want to take a look at some of these two teams. And I couldn't. So, okay. Well, there it is. There's today's little Division 3. Nothing really to see here. And I guess we just kind of keep it pushing. So, Taryn, into Division 2. Okay. Today we do have a fun one in Division 2. We do. Actually, you know what, Taryn? I did want to say something, though, too. I forgot about this. I think last week, where was it? There was a really cool game and I didn't write it down, gosh dang it. But it's kind of cool when you see these teams going head-to-head with other divisions, and I don't think it was in Division 3. It was not. It was not. Yep, it was not. All right, I think it was Division 2. But last week, I think we saw a really cool game. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to run over there as fast as I can. You know, last night, Cecilia and I talked about cupcakes. You know, Taryn, we love cupcakes sometimes. Yeah, right. But in college football, cupcakes are not fun. And, like, I don't know. Do you agree, Taryn, that all FBS schools just need to play FBS schools, and then everybody from FCS down can play each other, but can the FBS schools just kind of leave the FCS teams alone? I mean, what do you think, Taryn? Just give your quick and dirty thoughts on that.
I'll pretty much say this. When it comes to the FCS schools, only like the cut above the rest FCS schools should be able to play like the FBS schools, like the South Dakota State and the North Dakota State and the Montana State and whatnot. So, like, if your ranking is like, if your like yearly ranking in the past 2 years is like really high, you should be able to play FBS schools. But if your ranking is like extremely low, then you should not be able to. Or if your ranking is like to an extent, you should be able to play like a certain extent of a certain FBS team. Like, you should not be able to schedule like Alabama or Georgia. Like, you should be able to schedule like someone else. Like, for instance, like Sacramento State, they actually beat Stanford, which I don't know what to say about Stanford.
They did.
I don't. No offense to Stanford, but it's kind of been a fall from grace for them ever since a lot has happened to them ever since they lost their previous head coach.
And it's true, Taryn. No, when you see that, like, but for instance, Taryn, look at this. In Division 2 last week, West Florida, they're currently number 6, right? Very good team, the Argos. They played Florida A&M. That is an FCS school. This is a Division 2 team taking a crack at an FCS school. Taryn, it was a little lopsided, just a little bit. Florida A&M, handily won that game, 31-10. But it's okay, Taryn, because it was still a football game. I feel like the talent level was still kind of there. When it comes down to it, I thought that was great. I thought that was a great football game. I like that because we're seeing these smaller teams take shots at the bigger teams, and I want more of that. Taryn, we also saw number 1 Ferris State last week. They took on Montana and the Grizzlies in the FCS. Taryn, number 1 Ferris State, and I think Montana is like number 6, I think, in the FCS. That was a hell of a game, dude. Montana won 17-10. That is good competition. I think some of these, if you have a high-ranked D2 taking on this is actually a high-ranked FCS. I think they're ranked that high. I'm not sure, but what I will say is, I think that's really cool. We can get those competitions. But when you start bringing in, like, there's another one that I want to get to, and I'm trying to find the damn thing, but there we go. So Kaiser, Taryn, Kaiser, the Seahawks, man, they were in the NAIA championship last year. They lost to Northwestern College, but Kaiser is ranked right now in the top 10 of the NAIA. They took on Valdosta State, who is also ranked right now in the NAIA. Who's ranked in the actually they're not ranked right now currently. I think they are. Actually, they are in Division 2. But Taryn, look at this. Valdosta State beat them pretty handedly, 49-25. As we always say, NAIA is comparable to Division 2, but still, it's really cool because we even see that intersection there. So, I don't know, Taryn, I just felt like, but when you start getting freaking anybody that's not North Dakota State, or South Dakota State, when you start getting one of those schools, then it gets a little crazy, like when you're taking on freaking Alabama. You know what I mean? Like you just said. I don't know. Sometimes it blows my mind, But overall, man, I think, the cupcakes got to really stop, man. I think some of these big schools need to, look, I hate to say it, but play Ball State. You're right, Darren. Play
Exactly.
Play a low ranked team. I mean, I don't know, but anyway, man. So that's this week. But yeah, nothing really going on too much here in Division 2 either today. Like we said, we took a look at it, and it's just, yeah, this is kind of dead. Even the other game I brought up earlier, Colorado School of Mines, I don't know why I thought Pueblo was ranked, but they're not. But, you can take a look at some of these schools and, I guess. I mean, we got Harding, number 11 Harding, taking on number 23 Henderson State. But other than that, we don't really have much, big ranked for Division 2 this week. And then, of course, Taryn, we do have the FCS. Oh, the FCS. Well, is it safe to say, Taryn, that the FCS is just way too flooded in their schedules with Division 1 single A? Like, you know what's sad? I have to go to CBS Sports to get the rankings for the FCS because ESPN didn't even care enough. Like, at least I didn't see it on the app.
Right.
But, I mean, Darren, isn't it kind of isn't this getting ridiculous that all these teams, all these FCS teams are playing them? I mean, I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. FCS teams are teams too, and they deserve some love.
No, they do. They do. So there you go, man. I mean, not really much there, but I will tell you that it's definitely a fun time when you can see some of these bigger teams play each other instead of the cupcake stuff here. So anyway, man, so looking at the FCS real quick, some great stuff here. South Dakota State holding it down number 1, North Dakota State number 2, Montana State number 3, Sacramento State, because beating Stanford is easy nowadays, so they did it. Number 4, and then William and Mary at number 5. I mean, sweet, we got some good stuff going on there. And there you have it. This week we actually have Mercer and Furman. Mercer is currently number 21, and Furman, I think, is number 7. So that's actually a rank for the FCS. And then Montana State and Weber State. Pretty cool there. Montana State number 3, Weber State number 8. What do you think? What do you like? Who do you like in those matchups there, Darren?
I like Montana State. I think Montana State has a little bit more firepower when it comes to their team. Though I think Weber State is going to bring it. I think it's going to be a lot closer than it appears to be. So I feel Montana State is just going to pull it out in the end, though.
Yeah, I think so, too. Good stuff there, Darren. So anyway, brother, with that said, man, we're taking ourselves one more break. When we come back, we're talking D1 single A to finish off the show, and that will be that. You're listening to the 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your 5-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. We have made it to the end of the show here. We're getting into the FBS side here in our final moments here of the show. And well, Taryn, today we got some goodies. USC takes on Arizona State. Yeah, Taryn, there you go. Game of the week. Just kidding. But anyway, that actually is happening today. But anyway, we do have a few really good games going on today, ranked on ranked battles. Number 19, Colorado, taking on number 10, Oregon. Taryn, the talk of the town, the talk of the country is Prime. Prime is the man. Prime is getting down. Prime is doing this. Prime is doing that. I am a believer. I love what he's doing. I think this man is absolutely amazing. He has this team playing with the utmost confidence I think any football team in the country is playing with right now. Last week, we had probably one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my entire freaking life when Colorado State, the what do they call it? The Rocky Mountain Showdown. I mean, oh my gosh, one of the greatest games we'll ever see, Taryn. Colorado just got it done, man. 43-35, and they were down, man. They took double overtime. They fought to get back into this game. Colorado State had that game all but wrapped up. As I was saying all week, as I was saying on Twitter, like, dude, Colorado State, you can tell they had an emotional practice. They had a practice that was just very, very strong all week long. You know they came with a chip on their shoulder. They came ready to play. But damn it, Prime's guys pulled it off, man. Shedeur Sanders is amazing. This is just amazing football that they're playing. And you can't fault these guys. I don't know when their first loss is going to be. And I don't know if they're going to get one. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I've played football for a very long time, man. And I'm telling you, I don't care. You can play against big steroided out monsters or whatever. But at the end of the day, the scariest thing in the world to play against is confidence, man. When a dude's confident out there, it's really hard to beat that dude. And I'll tell you right now, there's a team full of these confident guys. And I love what's going on over there right now. So they are going to be playing Oregon, who is coming off of a huge 55-10 victory over Hawaii. And that's Oregon for you. So there you go, man. But that's coming up today. What do you think about this game here?
So this is going to be a very big game. And the big thing is you never want to open your mouth and say anything personal about Coach Prime. Yeah. That Colorado State coach said something about wearing his hat, about Coach Prime wearing his hat and sunglasses when talking to an adult and whatnot. When you said that, you made it personal. So for Oregon and for Colorado, I really think this is going to be a battle, and I really want to say Oregon's going to win. But Colorado is riding high with confidence, but it's so tough to win in Autzen Stadium. So I think Oregon is going to pull this one out, but they're not going to blow them out. I think Colorado's going to cover, but I really think Oregon is going to just pull it out in the end ultimately. And if Colorado does pull it out, I really think that Colorado is the real deal. However, I will say this. I think Colorado, if they do pull out the win today, their first loss will be against USC, which, yikes, 9 a.m. start time next week. Who is the genius that slapped that start time? I really want to meet that person, and silly me for not getting that day off for next week, but it's all good.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying, but hey, man. But dude, yeah, early start time there. But yeah, man, talk about a crazy one there. And yeah, I don't know, Taryn. I mean, that's a toughie. But we'll come back to our picks in a little bit, man. Number 3,
Oh,
Florida
yeah,
State was on the ropes last week, bro, versus Boston College. This thing came down to the wire. Florida State almost lost this game. But I mean, of course, it was 31-16 heading into the fourth quarter. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Taryn, was that just 2 blips on Florida State's defense, or do you think these Boston College Eagles, man, I mean, they're 1-2 on the season, but you think they got something special brewing over there, or do you think that Florida State just kind of let go of the reins?
I feel maybe it was Florida State letting go of the reins. I feel maybe they got up by a lot, and I think they let it go to their heads a little bit. And honestly, getting the 2-point conversion or missing out on the 2-point conversion, I think kind of hurt them. I feel maybe going for the 2-point conversion that on the first touchdown kind of was a mistake. I think maybe they should have gone for the 2-point conversion on the second touchdown, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So sometimes you just got to take the hits with the misses and just roll with it. But a valiant effort from Boston College regardless, as they almost pulled out the upset and they had their chances, but unfortunately Florida State was able to pull out the win. And I will say this, Florida State does have a solid overall game, but the defense is going to have to clean it up.
Yeah, man, and big ups to Castellanos, man. They're big time quarterback over there, man. Doing great things for Boston College. But yeah, these guys, man, number 3, Florida State, they played. Drewski says here on the chat room, Florida FSU was just undisciplined in their rush lanes. Third down conversions hurt them. Yeah, man. So I mean, rough go for these guys, but hey, they got it done, and that's a victory. So also last week, I mean, we had our usual blowouts, certain teams over certain teams. Whoop-de-doo. We did have Mizzou, though. Mizzou played a good one here, a little middle-of-the-country rivalry here. Missouri defeating number 15 Kansas State, 30-27. Pretty cool there. That was pretty neat. What I will say is what I thought was pretty neat, and this is going to sound kind of funny, but, okay, Weber State, it's a cupcake game, but it wasn't necessarily horrible. Utah, of course, number 12 in the country, of course, in the rankings, but dude, 31-7 only. So good job for Weber State for at least keeping the score within that. I gotta tell you, I like that very much. Also, moving forward into some of these games here this past week, I mean, once again, nothing huge except for, I don't know, Terry, maybe Florida beating Tennessee. That was kind of crazy, right? In Saturday Night Football last week.
We called it.
We called it, man.
Or I at least called.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. Florida, dude, 29-16 over number 11 Tennessee. Taryn, is Tennessee fool's gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
They just don't have the quarterback following Hendon Hooker's departure to the NFL.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Milton's not a bad player, but I don't know, man. He threw a pick in there, and this Gators team really took advantage of it, man. There's no eye-popping numbers. Mertz, Etienne, Wilson, the third. I mean, there's really nothing here that their numbers weren't huge. They won as a team, and I thought it was great, man. Florida pulled this thing off, and they looked pretty good, man. They looked a lot better than Tennessee for damn sure in that game. But really, that was pretty much it, man. I mean, besides from that Colorado State game, that's pretty much it from last week that was, notable, man. So, like I said, let's go on to this week and get our picks in, man. How you feel about that one?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, brother. All right, man. So, top 25 picks for this week. Let's see what we got here. So, of course, we got USC taking on Arizona. I think it's pretty safe to go with SC in this game tonight, Darren.
Yeah, USC's winning.
Yeah.
They're taking down the Devils. Forks down.
Forks down, yes. Rutgers taking on number 2 Michigan. Are you freaking serious? Even though Rutgers is 3-0 right now. But who have they played?
I can answer that question. Northwestern, Temple, and Virginia Tech.
Because those are 3 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Michigan wins this one in a blowout.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Just like same thing. Maybe USC wins the same way. I mean, they got them favored by 34, USC, and they got Michigan favored by 24. So I guess so. So, okay, Florida State taking on Clemson. Clemson fell off. Let's just be real. Clemson's not who Clemson was. I think have fun rebuilding, or I think that might be it. We're not going to see Clemson for a while. I don't know, but I do know that number four, Florida State, coming off a scary near loss. However, I don't know, Taryn. It's a 2-point game in favor of Florida State. They're in South Carolina taking on Clemson, and they're still giving Florida State the victory at number 4. Darren, I don't know. I got to go with the Seminoles in this one, but do you think Clemson can pull this thing off?
Yeah, I think Florida State is going to win this one. I want to say Clemson has a good shot at an upset just because got to remember Dabo Swinney, but they just don't have the quarterback that they've had in the past. And they really kind of messed up letting go of DJ Uiagalelei. So give me the Noles, but that defense really has to show up.
Yeah, no, that's for dang sure, man. So next up on the docket, we have number 16 Oklahoma taking on Cincinnati. Oklahoma is favored at 13 points here, and Oklahoma is undefeated at 3-0. Cincinnati at 2-1. Who do you think, Darren?
Give me Oklahoma.
Of course.
Homer.
Sooner! Yeah. And Taryn says, Drewski says here, FSU hasn't won since 2014. Oh, yeah. I mean, they haven't won a championship since, Jameis Winston. It's been 9 years now. What, 10 years? Well, 9 years. So, but still, man, this team, I think it'd be nice to see them make a little run. So, okay, now it's time to get into it, Taryn. Number 19, Colorado taking on number 10, Oregon. Oregon is favored by 21 points in Autzen Stadium today. Do you think they cover? Do you think they get the victory? Or do you think Prime and that crazy confident team will have something to say about it?
Colorado covers, but Oregon gets the win.
I like it. I agree. I like that one. So, yeah, I think Oregon's a little too much. And it's not like, Prime's never lost a game in his life. The guy, but he's going to rebound. Colorado's going to be a scary team for years to come as long as he's there. But today, though, I'm going to go with Oregon for this one. So, number 22, UCLA, and number 11, Utah. This is actually very good. This is a SoCal Spring Sports Show zone in here. But, Taryn, it's a 3-point game favored in Utah's favor. Do you think those Bruins got a chance?
It may be in Salt Lake City. It may be against the reigning Pac-12 champion. But dang it, I'm picking UCLA because Utah still doesn't have Cam Rising. Give me those gutty little Bruins.
Give me the Bruins, too. I don't even like the Bruins. Give me the Bruins. I'm taking the Bruins, too. I like that, Taryn. Number 15, Ole Miss. And number 13, Alabama. Alabama's favored by 7 points here. Alabama, they dropped one in Texas. Ole Miss is undefeated. Who you got?
Man, as much as I want to see Alabama just crumble at the hands of Ole Miss, and believe it or not, this is Alabama's first time outside of the top 10 in terms of the AP polls since 2014, I want to say, maybe 13.
Crazy.
I got to go with Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Give me Bama. It's going to be a close one, even though Ole Miss took a couple wins from them a couple years back. Remember that, Taryn? They went back and forth. Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So is it going to be again? We shall see, but give me Bama, too. Roll Tide. Number 18, Duke taking on UConn. Seriously? Duke is favored by 22 points. Give me the Blue Devils. Seriously.
Yeah, give me the Blue Devils, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Number 20, Miami. Taryn, are they back?
Not quite sure yet, but give me Miami on this one.
The U is not back, according to Taryn. However, number 20 Miami should beat Temple today. By 23 points? Well, ESPN says it, so we'll see. UTSA taking on number 23, Tennessee. At least it's an FBS school. That's all I can say. Regardless, Tennessee is favored to win by 24. Does that sound pretty realistic?
Yeah, I see Tennessee winning this one. Unfortunately, UTSA isn't the team from a couple seasons ago, but I got the Vols winning.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. Arkansas at 2-1, taking on number 12 LSU at 2-1. LSU is favored by 17.5 points. I think it's safe to say they're going to win that game.
Yeah, give me them Tigers.
Go Tigers. He's playing. Coach O's not even there no more, and we're still doing it. What can I say? I don't care. But number 14, Oregon State taking on number 21, Washington State. Two ranked teams from the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is apparently a weak conference, according to everybody. So 3-0, 3-0. Oregon State is actually favored by 3 points. Taryn, who you got?
I am taking Oregon State, even though they're not playing in Corvallis. I think that Oregon State defense is nasty.
Yeah, I think so too, man. The Beavers look pretty strong here. So, okay, next game. This should be a doozy. Charlotte taking on number 25, Florida. Yeah, Florida, the Gators. They're favored by 25 points. Are you serious, Taryn? Like, for real? Like, really? Yeah, at least they're FBS.
I'll take Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to take them in a landslide. UAB, once again, at least they're FBS. They're favored by 1,000 points. Just kidding. No, favored by 40. UAB taking on number 1 Georgia. I mean, is this a question? Is this a joke? I'm just kidding. You know how that goes, Darren. So yeah, give us the dogs for that. Pretty easy. Then we have, of course, number 3 Texas taking on Baylor. This is a 17-point favor by Texas. Taryn, is there any argument there?
I remember when I want to say this was a Big 12 championship match, or this had Big 12 championship implications a couple seasons ago. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm getting Texas to win. I got Texas winning this one.
Yeah, you and me both. Number 24 Iowa taking on number 7 Penn State. It's a ranked Big 10 matchup. Regardless, Penn State's favored by 14 points. This is a toughie. Iowa can pull this.
Yeah. Penn State is the safer pick, though.
Yeah, Give us both. Penn State. Okay. Number 17, Carolina. North Carolina taking on Pitt. Pitt is a scrappy team. UNC is favored by 7 points. Is it safe to say North Carolina, the Tar Heels, will win this thing today?
Yes, they have the quarterback. Unfortunately for Pitt, I just don't think they have the quarterback to keep up with them. I mean, North Carolina has Drake May, and he's one of the more highly touted quarterbacks in college football. So give me them Tar Heels.
I'm with it. And then, of course, Cal at 2-1 taking on number 8 Washington at 3-0. Washington is favored by 20.5 points. Taryn, I'm positive Washington will win that game.
Same here. Michael Penix Jr. is most likely going to have a field day on the Golden Bears.
I'm positive. And then last night, San Diego State lost to Boise State. What the hell?
Their defense just does not rise to the occasion against better-known teams.
That was irritating watching that last night. We were dancing salsa, trying, having fun and everything. I was keeping an eye on the game. We got home, we were eating dinner, and the gosh damn Aztecs couldn't pull it off. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Broncos are solid, but what in the crap, Taryn? Like, oh my gosh, the game was right there. They were home. Like, Boise State's a very good football team, but dude, like, San Diego State just they can't get out of their own way.
It almost resembled the Niners-Rams game from last Sunday. The second half missed a field goal, then they fumbled on the second drive in the second half, which eventually led to a touchdown for Boise State. And then suddenly Boise State's up 10 points, and then San Diego State's having a play come from behind, and then it just does not work. So great job, San Diego State, but at least you covered.
Oh, yeah.
Which is predicted.
That's for sure. And then, of course, some games from this past week that were already played. Thursday, we had Georgia State defeating Coastal Carolina 30-17. Boise, as we mentioned last night, defeating San Diego State 34-31. Wisconsin over Purdue 38-17. NC State over Virginia 24-21. And Air Force over San Jose State 45-20. So then, of course, Taryn, there was one game, and this is tonight's, of course, game of the week, Saturday Night Football. I don't know why I said it was Texas Baylor earlier. My apologies. But number 6, Ohio State, taking on Number 9, Notre Dame. Ohio State 3-0, Notre Dame 4-0. Ohio State is favored by 3 points. Taryn, this is a freaking great game, man. I am so excited for this one today. Who you got and why?
This is so tough. I mean, Notre Dame has the defense, and Ohio State doesn't really have the ultimate quarterback. It's at Notre Dame. It's at South Bend. You know what? And Ohio State hasn't really blown out anybody ultimately, except for Western Kentucky. I mean, they only beat Indiana by 20 and Youngstown State by 28. Meanwhile, Notre Dame, they've pretty much beaten everybody, including NC State and Central Michigan, but they haven't really beaten anybody well known. God, this is so tough.
Hartman.
You know what?
Hartman's looked good on the year. Estime, or however you pronounce his name, he's looked pretty solid. 5 touchdowns on the year. Hartman's thrown for 13. Tyree has got 2 touchdowns. This is no diss on Ohio State. They look good. Henderson, Harrison, of course, Harrison Jr., McCord, their leaders here, according to the ESPN the Score Center app. I think Ohio State is going to come out and fight like hell. But give me Notre Dame. I'm going with the Irish, Darren.
You know what? I'm taking Notre Dame too. I'm probably going to regret it, but give me the Fighting Irish.
Where's that gosh damn yeehaw? Oh, we're yeeing and hawing right now, Taryn. This is, yeah, bro. We're having fun right now, man, because this is going to be a good football game, Taryn. I'll tell you tonight. If anything, I think it's really going to depend on this damn, can Notre Dame's defense rise to the occasion? This is it. This is the day. If there was ever a day, this is going to be it. In the chat room here.
They have to.
What was that?
They have to prove themselves. This is the game Notre Dame has to prove themselves and get out of the shadow of Ohio State and Georgia and all the other big timers.
Oh, yeah, this is it. This has to be it. Today, this is going to be a hell of a game. I'm so excited. We have some great stuff, man, and I'm just, oh, man. Yeah, we got to cue that music, bro. It's about that time. But, man, what a fun one today. As always, Taryn, that was awesome, brother. So, just to the chat room, great show, fellas. Well, thank you for tuning in, man. Of course, big up to my cat also in the chat room earlier. Just so many great games today, Taryn. So much to get into. We're going to definitely be all over Twitter. Man, I mean, we have ourselves another great Saturday lined up. High school football was awesome. Still got a few games today. College football is always awesome. And then tomorrow we dive into the NFL. Taryn, this has been fun, as always. Appreciate you for being here, brother. Any last words for our listeners this week?
No, let's just enjoy some college football while we can, and it's going to be a fun day.
Oh, it is. It is. We're both taking Notre Dame. It's going to be fun to see what happens here tonight. But we got to see the Irish football. So my boy Alex, I know, would be happy with that. Die hard in Notre Dame. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here today. You can follow us, of course, at 3 and Out, all spelled out CEID. Of course, you can follow me at the THE LB53 on Twitter. Taryn, they can find you at
Taryn Rodriguez 1 on Twitter. That's where I post my main content.
And he does a great job. It was a fun one. And that is going to do it for today's show. So many great players to follow. Remember, y'all, college football is the precursor to the NFL. It's the absolute most fun. Actually, it's the only way to get there. And guess what? You gotta check us out, y'all. Stats, players, up and coming, who's going where, we'll see. Well, let's find out. This is going to be a great Saturday. I'll be ready. We're about 15 minutes out from all the games. Enjoy. Let's get to it. And, well, there we are. So, for my boy, Aaron Rodriguez, for your boy, Larry B, this has been 3 and Out College Edition, and we will see y'all next week. Oh, we're ready to rock and roll, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.
Peace.